best answer is that when printing Sforim, it's best never to allow this. Never to write print words on the outside of the pages. That way you have no problem at all. That way the best thing is to have the problem never arise. Never get the sickness first and then worry about the cure. Avoid getting the sickness. Hashem says, it would be good, I will not even give you sickness in the first place. He wouldn't require a cure. Now, the same thing too is in the dinner of Kereya, tearing apart. Many times you have Sforim, speaking about learning Sforim, which is a good thing to speak about, a good thing to do. Reading a sefer, you find many times that you take out a sefer from your bookcase and you want to learn a certain daf, you find that at that point 2 pages are connected because they were never cut apart. This shows how much learning you did in that sefer. How often, how frequently this was used that page. So the question is then, since you have to use that page and you have no other sefer in the house, is it permissible to pull apart those 2 pages or not? This case is not only usher, it is also chayiv. And the Nisa, usher to tear apart those 2 pages because that's Real Master second. There he is doing something that's accomplishing, he's creating something new, he's making a sefer available. So in this case then, it is definitely usher to ever tear apart pages that are connected. First thing is that if you expect to use a sefer on Shabbos, then you examine the dafim first, before Shabbos. If you don't know which sefer you're going to use on Shabbos, so when you get new Sforim, every time you buy a new sefer or a set of Sforim, it's best to examine and see that all the pages are separated, because you may have to use that sefer on Shabbos. You will not be able to tear apart the pages that are connected. We should be zecher to use the right connections, zecher to Rikayin, mitzvahs, Rat mitzvah Shabbos, Pasach, zecher to Yom Shekulei Shabbos, see Mr. Chazena, Yididu, Arai should see in HaKadosh Rabbeinu real soon, Shtadchus, and we should see the Dias, Kerel Tzadik, and Teda, Maybe, Mochay Shabbos, Dinei, Siva, writing on Shabbos. You know that writing on Shabbos is also it's higher from 2 ACS. It's also a nice lesson. The question is, what is considered writing? How do you have to write with it? Must it be with a ballpoint pen? It could be with a regular pen. What kind of ink has to be used? Then it says that any type of writing, any kind of writing, is awesome. Any kind of a mark that's made. Now, for example, you don't have to write with ink, you can write with wine. You can take liquid and pour out, even water, pour out the form of a letter on a table. If it can be contained, let's say, take the liquid, it's considered writing. Or if you write you have ashes or sand, and you make a mark with your finger in the sand and form a letter, you're not putting any ink there at all, you're forming that letter, soft earth, that's considered writing too. Same thing too, that's of course this is Midrabanan. That's Midrabanan. The same thing too, when you have the frost on the window pane. People, it's the earliest form of graffiti. People do it with their own homes. Well, writing on window panes is the same thing too. It's also on Shabbos. Nothing being used, like you're writing by removing some of the filament that's falling in the window, haze. But all that is considered writing. It was also Midrabanan. In case this is Midrabanan, in case a person has something which is thick and soft like cheese, or meat that's frozen, and then you carve out something, there it's considered very chayiv that I say. that's considered actual chatika coming out, causing letters that we made. Other ways, if you pour out liquid, it doesn't stay. Or if you move your finger on the window pane, that'll disappear in a while. Something that we made, that's chayav midiraisa. There's one case, though, where it's completely good. The person wants to figure out something, mathematical problem. How does he write on Shabbos? So, some people use their fingers and they make forms in the air. They write down numbers in the air in front of them. They put a line under with their finger and they add it up. And then, mistake, they erase it. Try over again. Making these numbers in the air, or if you demonstrate, a person can see, imagine a thing coming out in the air, that is even mutter, permissible completely. Or on a table, dry table with nothing formed, you just move your finger along in the form of a letter, and let's say this could happen. A person cannot talk out. It's a place where he can't speak. He wants to tell somebody, gives him a message. I mean, how many pieces of cake do you want? So he has to write 3 figures. He does it on the table. Right, and he moves his finger on the table in the form of big letters, big 999. Or woodlight steak on meat. He takes a little slight change there. But without pulling anything on the table whatsoever, that is permissible lechatchila. Now, the person writes on his own skin. Then, let's say the ink or something, it's a light ink, he writes on his own skin, he's chayav midiraisa. Even though he would say, this will not remain. Not like writing on something else where they're writing the names. The skin, by nature, the nature of the epidermis of a person is that it grows out and it expels anything that's on it. So that's when a person has a wound of any kind, or a mark, a stain, a person with stained fingers, eventually the stain will come off. Even if he doesn't use soap as something. Before because it grows out by itself. The skin itself, the inner skin, expels it. So, therefore, it's not a ksav, it doesn't remain. Despite this, it's also nicer because at present it is a solid writing, even though the background is one that's going to change. It's considered chayav midiraisa, and we should be careful to get good to the Chassidus tables. Exactly, Shabbos Chosim, Shabbos Shabbos Mitach Chosim Simcha. Exactly the Shabbos Shabbos Bavly, which is Torah time. See the yes, what's that in there? 3:40. Shabbos. Then is that Chassidut that a sefer puts over a sefer Torah, doctors some of the letters there, corrects letters. Like here, sefer Torah checks if there's corrections made, or if the writing is light, he darkens it. And if the writing is good, he just moves the pen over it, where he doesn't actually improve the letter, simply goes over a letter a second time. When a person writes over a letter that's already there, then he is pater, which means there's no chayav midiraisa. Pater, we explained what it means, it's also the rabbanon. Midiraisa is pater. If the writing is very light, very weak, and it's letters are cracked, and then he writes over that, he's chayav twice. Twice means that they kill him twice. So twice refers to it. When it's done b'shegeg, he has to bring 2 korbanos, because he performed 2 acts on Shabbos. One is the act of writing. The second is the act of the act of writing and the act of erasing. Whatever was there, by writing over it, he erased. The little bit that was there, there were forms of letters there. They were weak. Writing over, that's considered erasing that. Writing and erasing it, so there's two acts. Twice higher, two chatois. Now, point that we say that the night ought to be higher, he has to write two letters. Two letters must be together. If there are two separate places, he writes one on this wall and one on the opposite wall, he's not higher. It's possibly that one, but he's not higher. Two letters must be together, even though they do not form a word. Two letters, he's writing with two letters. If he writes the two letters together, where there are two separate items, like two blocks, or two sheets of paper, he writes two letters, one next to the other, he's still higher. Or if he writes on two walls, as the two walls meet, the south wall and the west wall, at least at the corner of that wall, at that 90-degree angle, he writes one letter, and then the next, right around the 90-degree turn, the next letter, that too is higher. So again, we said it must be two letters. They must be, in a sense, together, not too far apart. But if he wrote a one letter, and that one letter he had kavuna that it should be a whole word. For example, he wrote the letter min. He meant it with an apostrophe to stand for the word aboim. Then there's 40. Then with an apostrophe to stand for aboim, and then it is potter. Because we have to have dafka a two-letter word written out, or two letters actually written out, not what it could mean. The same thing too if he wrote one letter next to a second letter that's already there. It was a gimel, he wrote a gimel right next to that letter. He now formed the word, God. He's potter. He did not write the two letters. His act, though he formed the word, he still did not write two letters, so he's potter for that. Now in the Sefer Torah, we have the letter Ches. Letter Ches is not like our letter Ches that we have in the regular print. Letter Ches is a machlekes. The letter Ches is like a chavruta. Menachem Mendel says there's a crown over it, an inverted V. And the letter Ches is formed by two letters, two separate letters, either two zayins, separate, and then there's a V that attaches these two signs and makes the letter Ches, or according to the Arizal, to Vav and a Zayin. Again, with the this crown, this hump, it attaches these two letters. This makes up the letter Ches. This is the letter Ches. The person who writes that letter, it's one letter. It's part. The person erases the hump. Just the act of erasing that little hump there, which means that now he has formed two new letters, his chayv. Separated the two letters of a ches, thereby forming two new letters, his chayv for chayv. What if his mind, he wanted to write the letter ches. One of us write the letter ches. He wrote the vav, Zayin, and with hump, he missed that hump. Now he wrote two letters, a vav and a zayin. Is he chayav for that or not? Because there was an actual ma'aseh, he wrote two letters. It is that he is potter, though he wrote two letters. Why? Because in Shabbos, the whole piece of Shabbos is Melachos Machshavos. Whatever he planned, his thought is what counts. His intentions were to write one letter. If it came out two letters against his intentions, it doesn't count. Shabbos is Melachos Machshavos, that's what counts. Therefore, though he formed two letters, he is potter. Of course, there's nothing that's mutter there. It's potter because he's writing. So it is that in writing, writing must be done with his right hand. His right hand. It means that if he is a righty, his right hand is his right hand. If he's a lefty, we call his left hand his right hand. It's the left hand of the whole world, but for him it's the right hand. So if a person writes, a right-handed person writes two letters left-handed, he is put. He's put with an isa, because that's not considered right. If a left-handed person writes with his right hand, he is put the two. This case is different than all cases in the Torah. Because every kind of malacha, every malacha, that is, every malacha on Shabbos, whatever it is, whether it's carrying, cooking, or any act he does, or plowing a field, if he does it with his left hand, he is chayav. Very important call. Every malacha, he is chayav, though he does it with his left hand, which means that it would appear, first hand, actually it would seem to appear as a shinui. A shinui, we always say in the Shana on Shabbos, if you want to do something to make it less of a malacha, you do it with a shinui, left hand. Still, this is not considered kalacha yad. Not that much of a shinui. All malachas, the person is chayav using either one of his two hands. Only kaisei, the only malacha where there is a difference between the right and the left. So there you have, by two, you have the difference between the right and the left, which is judged by saftam, by writing. The person puts on tefillin according to the hand which he writes on. If he writes with his right hand, he puts on tefillin with his right on his left. If he writes with his left hand, he uses his left to put on tefillin on his right. Therefore, only there we find a difference between right and left. Otherwise, they're all the same. This right and left, which means now to combine. You do the swerves, chesed and gevura. Chesed and gevura, this is what the United Kodesh says. The Yitzchayim brings on that more detail that Shviras Kelim, first creation of the world, and when the Shviras Kelim, the Elam is dropped a level, and this is a pshat the Ruch HaKim and Achefes Alpnei Hamoyim. Elam is dropped and there was a tefillah to the Reish Pei Ches Eidos. Reish Pei Ches Eidos, that dropped down and require a ticket. Achefes Alpnei Hamoyim. But Achefes is outside letters, Mem. First letter is Mem, the last letter is Tuf, middle letters are Reish Pei Ches. Reish Pei Ches, mace. The word mace, is used always when there is a yeriga, when a tefillah. This we learn from the Shemona Malachim, where it says, Vayomlos, he died. What's meant by he died? He had a tefillah, a yeriga. You have to do big Rasan. Heaven, when a malach loses his position, we say mace. There's no death in heaven, but mace means a yeriga. This Reish Pei Ches Eidos died. What is Reish Pei Ches? A combination of the Gematria of Chesed, 72 and Gevura 216 is Reish Pei Ches. Chesed and Gevura, the leader, Reish Elam, there was this Yerida. This is what is that power which is the Ma'ala of Reish Pei Ches, these Eidos, and it is Yidas Hashem. They Hashem al Ma'ala. Yidas Hashem is Ma'ala Reish Pei Ches. Chesed, Gevura is Pachat Din. There's Yira, which comes through Chesed, Yira, which is the Pachat combination. Yirei Hashem, those who are Ma'ala Reish Pei Ches, back to the Aleph B'Ein Sof. This is what it says, Teref Nosson Yirei Aleph. Hashem gave Teref, means food, spiritual food. Teref B'Gimatria Reish Pei Ches with the Aleph. Yirei, to those of Yirei Hashem, they receive this teref, this kedusha of Reish Pei Ches, which is this Aleph. We should be zechet, the Mikashin, Yemin Ismail, Arizal said that this is the way to be made to be Koach HaPayel. That is a maflor. Koach HaPayel means that we should begin, we should end, we should complete, we should be zechet to go, come, for Simcha, V'Yerachava, for Arizal Siyan, Mala, find for the Eila Mala, that's a chus which we see now, the Eid HaEides, from the Skashit over the whole world, coming in the Shich Kenu, and in this Mikdash, Eid HaEid, Amen. Shabbos. We said the din of case study the Shabbos, din of writing the Shabbos, just a short review on it, we said before, that it requires 2 letters to be written. Otherwise, there's no Isur Kiraisa. These 2 letters could be written even on 2 separate pages. You write one letter on one page, and next to it another letter on another page. If they are side by side, though they're on 2 different separate items, it's still the study combined into one. It becomes 2 letters and he's chayav for it. If he writes 1 letter on the ceiling and 1 letter on the ground, that does not combine, cannot be combined. Then he's potter for it. Now, if he doesn't write, he takes metal letters, metal forms. Let's say they're magnetic metal, or there's a magnet on the wall, blackboard. He attaches this to the board, to the wall. Or he hangs, let's say, letters on the kolechas. By hanging 2 letters, he wrote nothing. He just put the 2 letters up there. He is chayav for, not chayav, but it's also, he has broken the din of posek. Or he pulls off 2 letters from the wall, from the kolechas, and he's attached to it, so it is also osir. The din of writing is, I think we mentioned, the din of writing is only if he writes with his right hand. And if he writes with his left hand, then it is also the Rabbanon. And the Rais says only if he writes with his right hand. This means, of course, his right hand. A left-handed person who writes with his right hand does not break Yinisa the Raisa. There's no skila for it, there's no kavuchatas. Also, the Rabbanon is not breaking Yinisa. It must be only with his right hand. Of all the Lamates Malachos, the only one that has this din is the din of writing. The person cooks with his left hand, wrong hand, weak hand, or a person carries something with his left hand. He does any kind of malacha, plows the field with his left hand, lights a bench. And there is no difference if you're using the right or the left hand. The only time there's a difference for his chayav or potter is in this writing. It's the other case where it's different. Which was zecher to be written into the book of life, even though it's every day is written into the book of life, the book of Yeshua, and the Chomes. Zecher, we should only come together the Syrian Jewish, and to see with our eyes the Chomas Syrian in Yerushalmi, including the esteemed with the coming of Mashiach and Yaakov, and the Amen. Same as we have a bit of posek, writing on Shabbos, writing letters. Same thing is too. A person cuts out or tears paper strips into letters. He tears paper strips into letters, paper dolls. 2 letters, he is chayav. Tearing is the same as writing. So actually, a person tears paper, rips something, it is destroyed. It's mekalkel. The person takes paper and tears it up. He is mekalkel. The person takes anything, any item, he breaks it, destroys it. On Shabbos, it's not the same as building. It's creating. Destroying on Shabbos is not chayav. It's also the Rabbanon. Unless a person is mekalkel for the sake of repairing, for the sake of fixing. He tears down a building because he wants that lot to build a larger building. So in that case, he's destroying a building. The building can be a very expensive building. He's destroying it, which ordinarily would be mekalkel and potter. In this case, because it's the addition, the terms, the intent, the motive is to build on it. Therefore, that mekalkel is amanas, the addition of sakin, to repair, to fix. So he is chayav for mekalkel. Agav. So therefore, in this case, the person tears paper though he's destroying, he's still chayav, because the intent is to tear and to repair. Same thing in the bathroom, paper that's used there, it tears from a roll, that's tearing, it's destroying. Yet, because it is for a use, so tearing paper from a roll is chayav, not chayav midaraisa, chayav skila. Some people are not aware of the gravity, the severity of this isur. Isur deraisa, tear from a roll, it should be Shabbos Tishka repaired. As a shalom to break an isur deraisa then. And as we said, with kalkel is potter. Which means we say potter, of course, difference. We explain words there's chayav, potter, and mutter. Chayav means also the deraisa, it's chayav for chatas, shegeg, skill of reason. If there is asra al-idam, and potter means it's potter with deraisa, but it's also with rabbanon. Of course, you cannot do that because with rabbanon also means there's a chayav visa with Hashemayim. But it's not the same, it's not as serious halacha-wise as with the Raisa. In certain respects, we find there are kulos with the Rabbanon. Spacious and so on. Still, Isa with the Rabbanon is called Potter Avalasa. Mutter means it's permissible of Chakra. So, we still be kalkel, it's not also with the Raisa. So, it's Potter with the Raisa and also with the Rabbanon. The Rambam says, what if a person takes a good item, expensive dish, and he breaks it, drops it on the floor, deliberately. That person goes out scotch-free. Also with the Rabbanon, it's potter with the ice. Because, what did he do? He destroyed. Took an expensive jade vase, that cost $40,000 in those stores. 5 blue words for it. But it's expensive. How do you drop it? Broken. So he is put with the ice. So there's no punishment whatsoever. Why? Because he destroyed. What if the person did it not because he just wanted to destroy it? He did it because he gave vent to his anger. He lost his temper, took this expensive vase and smashed it to temper. Or so Mikalkel is also, the person hits somebody and he breaks his arm. That's Mikalkel, destroying. It's destroying. So, Shabbos, I wouldn't say it's a mitzvah, but it's destroying, hurting someone, or destroying a dish, expensive item, is because of kas, because he lost his temper. This destruction lowers, appeases, subdues his kas. That's the sakin. That's the kalkal, that's the sakin. The sakin is the kas. It's softening, it's easing his kas. This destroying is not considered a kalkal anymore. If a person out of anger destroys something, then he is chayiv skilot. Of course, we can understand this in a different sense too. The Gemara says that Mishabek Kevud Bachamasai, one breaks dishes with Bachamasai over his brother-in-law's head. Bachamasai is cast, and because of anger, and it's Kilo Eved Avedazor. It's a good Avedazor. Destroying property in anger is Avedazor. So we can see that it's very fitting because Chilul Shabbos and Avedazor are both the same Isser, the same Minish, the same penalty. In this case, when a person, imagine if he destroys Chilul and Shabbos in anger, what kind of a double sin Menachem he has? A person should avoid kas, a person should be Yaakov, a person should be always misaken that slight, misaken himself. There, rectified, purified himself. And this is done by learning the halachas very thoroughly. Obeying the halachas is called the London. London is not one who learns and doesn't obey. That's a very strict warning that Arizal gives to put one on. Never never call a lamda one who knows how to learn and disobeys, as a show. That's a shed Yehudah. Something that's one who learns and obeys, but he's still not a tzadik. Tzadik is one who can. So after taking on this, that is a tzadik, good lamda. That's the ultimate. Which can zechet to Gulmay, to Lamay, Shmai, Aharon, Kayem, which is a title, and that's supposed to be there to see. Yes, go, tzadik, okay, Shabbos. The person receives mail on Shabbos, and the mail is sealed, and it's forbidden to tear open the letter in order to read it. Tearing or destroying. But it's also because destroying for the sake of getting to the letter. And it's kol shekin, much worse if there are letters on the envelope. The words are gets open and tear the letters, the words, that truly is also. It's even forbidden to tell a goy, the mailman is a goy, the Yaakov, forbidden to tell him to open the letter on Shabbos. Even if you tell him to be careful not to tear the letters printing on the envelope. But if it is a goy, you make sure he does not tear the printing in the envelope. You may say, in a roundabout way, I cannot read the letter. I don't have X-ray eyes. And my hands are taking it at the time, so the goy will understand, if he's not a Yaakov, he'll understand, if you arrive from your statement, you want the letter open. Tell him directly that is forbidden. There is a din of being in the skavin with Shabbos. But if you do something without intention, without intent, to perform an act without intent to break the Shabbos, even though you do break the Shabbos at the time, not only is not forbidden, it's also permissible if it is not secretion, which means if it is not definite that the Shabbos will be broken. There's a possibility. Even if the possibility is a very high one, still, you may perform that act as long as your intentions are not for the sake of breaking the Shabbos. For example, you have a new garment to put on, and you know that if you put the sleeve through, it's going to tear partially. It may tear partially. If it's definitely going to tear, you consider that you got to open the wrist part, lock. But your hands will surely break open. That naturally is also because there's no question of secretion. Surely. If, let's say, it's very tight, smaller size, you may be able to slip your hands through, you may not. You chance both ways. But a lot of put your hands straight through, and if it tears, it tears. You will not break the Shabbos because your intention is not to tear the garment. It happened at a tour, even though you knew that there'd be a possibility of tearing, you're allowed to do this l'chatchila, without hesitation. Any kind of garment at all, any kind of act similar to this. By the same token, you're allowed to take these walnuts, put it into a napkin, where it doesn't see you. To break them, you put the napkin, you smash it on the ground, cement or something. And if the napkin tears, a handkerchief, if you pick your wife's handkerchief, you won't spoil your own. If the handkerchief napkin tears, though you know that it probably will tear. Probably, but not definitely. There's a chance that it might not tear. You're allowed to break nuts that way if you don't have a nut crack. So they do it even though there is that strong possibility, even the majority of the chances are that it will tear the cloth, napkin, or the handkerchief. You're allowed to do it because your intentions are not to tear the handkerchief. The intentions are to crack things, not to open. Nothing to do with the cloth. Therefore, since that is in the skavin, it is mutter l'chatchila. This was first. This we learned many similar dinim. Klal generally is you're not the skavin to perform an act of work at all.